60 frames per second is the most important feature we should be getting in the next generation. Anybody that thinks 30 frames per second is going to cut it has a problem. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Forte, and thank you for coming to the channel and checking out the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, follow me over on Twitter, head on over there. It's the best place for you to get in contact with me so we can talk about things that we don't talk about in this video. So let's have a conversation about 60 frames per second and why it is the most important feature that is going to happen over the next generation. That's not a buzzword, that is fact. 60 frames per second is something that every game needs to have going forward. Of course, there are going to be some outliers out there, not to the fact that a game shouldn't have it. It's just the fact that these developers go out there and they want to have the vision of their game be based around visual fidelity, 4K, buzzwords like that, because guess what? Those are the type of features you can sell to a consumer based on what they see. You can't have somebody not pick up a controller and understand and feel what 60 frames per second feels like when you hold a controller in your hand. That's why at the beginning of all of these conversations throughout last year, I always told people that I'm more excited for console gamers to get the ability to understand what the next generation is going to be about. This is the same thing Phil Spencer has been saying for the last couple of months. 60 frames per second performance in general is going to be the benchmark for next generation. Of course, you want to have the games that's going to take advantage of those frame rates, because those are the things that are going to bring people over to the platform to get them excited to even want to try out your games. But when those games are there and you have the ability to just toggle the frame rate the way that you want to do it, and even if you don't have a toggle, just give us the native ability to be able to play these games at the highest fidelity that we want to, because that is what's going to sell these games the most. Yes, they can look amazing, they can be graphically astonishing and stuff like that, but the feel of the game definitely needs to be something that people recognize the most. And when people tell you that you can't see the difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, man, I don't know what to tell you. Tell them that they need to go get glasses, tell them they need to go get it checked out or something, because you definitely can see the difference. Now, if you don't jump immediately back and forth between the two types of games, then yeah, it'll probably be a little bit harder to actually notice right up front. But if you literally jump from one and go to the other after extended playtime on one version of the game, you will not only see it, you will feel it in the game inputs, because it is definitely something that's very inherently true. Because when you double from 30 to 60 FPS, it makes a whole world of difference. It even makes the game look better. Most people don't realize that games inherently look better when you double the frames per second of that game. Now, I don't want to keep harping on this because I feel like we're heading in the right direction. The fact that we are actually going to get 60 frames per second next generation on a more regular cadence is something that I'm looking forward to. I do think Microsoft is going to be the one team that's going to really implement this more than others, because that is the mandate that they have out for their first party studios. Frame rate over everything, performance over everything. And some people are going to go back and say, well, that's why the games don't look as good as like PlayStation games. And guess what? You may be correct. I don't know. We don't know what Microsoft has in store. I know Halo's going to look really good. That's all we keep hearing. We just keep hearing that Halo is one of those showpieces that's going to really take advantage of the next Series X. And I'm hoping that's the case, but I'm just hoping that that's not the only game that does it. I'm looking forward to exactly what we're going to be getting in the next generation. And I'm looking forward to people being able to finally see what the differences are when gamers play on PC versus when they play on console. There is a stark difference when that conversation happens, and I definitely want you guys and anybody else that's playing on console or playing on PC or wants to go back from PC and go back to console, because let's be for real, console gaming in general has always been a lot more pure and easier to get into than it was with PC, and I just think time will tell on that regard. But I really want to ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think that this is something that you truly want? Do you really truly want 60 frames per second, or do you want to keep going down the same road of middle of the road frame rates, sometimes averaging 30, 30, somewhere between 30 and 60, and we just get phenomenal looking games all the time? Or do we want to challenge these developers to do more? Do we want to make them give us experiences that not only give us a performance we want, but the fidelity and graphics that we want too? That's the question I have for you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching this video, and sub to the channel if you haven't, and like this video if you like the content. Check out my last video. I talked about the WB acquisition that a lot of people are hoping that Microsoft is going to do. So let's talk about that on Twitter and all these different social media platforms, or in the comment section. And you guys have a great week. Peace.